Despite the so many benefits in buying and selling websites, there would always be major problems. These take place as the buyer or the seller of the website don't have any idea what are the things that should be done and how can solve minor problems along the way. In order to veer away from major problems that can be encountered in buying or selling a website, here are some things that the buyer or seller should take into consideration. 1. Accomplish major monetary issues. In this case, the major objective of the seller is makes a positive image so the deal would proceed smoothly. For the seller to do this, he or she should put into order the website's monetary statements and financial documents sufficiently. This is to ensure that there will be no problems once the buyer would want to know the financial status of the website. For the buyer, it is also a must for him to check if the proprietor have already arranged a complete set of financial papers, at least a record containing information in the previous 2 years to know what is the financial viability of the website. 2. Be transparent on financial declarations. The seller before selling his or her website should take in up him or to herself the responsibility of having the financial declarations reviewed ideally by an accounting firm. If this is not possible, at least the financial declarations have been compiled by the website possessor in an orderly manner. For the buyer, he or she must also check if the financial declarations have been audited and the statements can meet his or her expectations. This is also advantageous for the buyer because if the financial declarations are precise and accurate, he or she would save time because there will be no need for recalculation. 3. Be careful on sudden closings. Buyers and sellers alike should be very careful on sudden closings because it can alter the financial reports themselves. For initial transactions, these pieces of information don't have to be audited but should be audited before the final arrangement takes place. The seller should be very careful in sudden closings because he or she couldn't sell the site if there are financial warts. The seller should also keep in mind that the buyer will be able to find financial problems due to sudden closing eventually, so there's no point of not fixing it now. 4. Avoid negotiations that are devoid of having worked out. There's a difficulty in having diverse deals and arrangements in no time. This is because the buyer will not have enough time to find out if there were devoid negotiations in past. For both parties to avoid this kind of problem in buying and selling websites, they must find time to recover dissimilar tax implications so the deal won't be put off. 5. Always be open to suggestions. This will work both ways for the buyer and seller because being open to suggestions will not only make their negotiations easier but will also enable them to move on and start anew. If the buyer is not open to suggestions, stiffness on his or her part may cause a problem because the seller would think that he is being pushed on the wall, or he might think that the buyer doesn't trust him or her enough and all the accomplishments his or her website has achieved over the years. When this happens, the buying and selling of websites will be cancelled and can lead both parties to square one.